Free 30 million Americans from the prison of poverty. Can you help us free these Americans? And if you can, let me hear your voices.
Johnson wins the election in 1964 by a landslide.
Johnson had an enormous amount of political capital, and he didn't hoard it. He used it to get the Great Society in place.
Since he had so many bills and so many committees at the same time, what it required were these huge charts in his office. This was Johnson's domestic equivalent of the war room.
Johnson had the energy and the determination and the tenacity to work on them one by one until we got the numbers we needed, not just to pass the legislation, but to get the Great Society enacted by bipartisan legislation.
My first job after college was as a teacher in Cotulla, Texas, in a small Mexican-American school. My students were poor, and they often came to class without breakfast, hungry. And they knew, even in their youth, the pain of prejudice.
His heart went out to the Hispanics and the blacks who were in such a biased world. He wanted to give people a chance to succeed, to fulfill themselves, because that was the story of his life.
As a man whose roots go deeply into Southern soil, I know how agonizing racial feelings are. But really, it's all of us who must overcome the crippling legacy of bigotry and injustice. And we shall overcome.
In my estimation, he made one of the most meaningful speeches that any American president had made in modern time.
There's no president since Abraham Lincoln that comes close to the achievements of LBJ on civil rights.
What he does changes the face of America forever. It is a social revolution that we'll never go back on.
He opened up the political process. He made real the essence of our democratic ideal.
All of Johnson was quite visible in his early years. The intensity, the drive, the native intelligence.
From the time he was young, he had this sense that if he could outwork everybody, he could get where he wanted to go.
He understood from the start that this was a city that was a magnet for ambitious people.
He had an incredible sense of the jugular of every member of Congress.
He could remember where every senator stood on different issues. What were their vulnerabilities? What were their strengths? What did they need in their district?
He had telephones everywhere he could possibly be, which meant that there was never a free hour when he wasn't calling some congressman, some businessman, some labor leader to get something done.
Work for him was just the most natural sort of thing. And the people around him were sort of driven to work 24/7 if he needed them to do it.
Part of the LBJ treatment was physical.
You knew when Lyndon started breathing in your mouth that you were finished.
But much more importantly was the mental part of the treatment.
We used to say people are moved by love and fear, and the trick is to put the right combination together.
He would frequently take his fingers and press into your chest, or in some cases even almost lift you up some by your lapel, where I find myself in most cases saying, yes, sir, Mr. President, whatever I can do to make it happen.